before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest?
Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
Well, hey, everybody. How you doing? It is Thursday night, and tonight's going to be a huge night. We got a young man with us who is, I'm super excited to have him on. We've finally got him in here, and he's hanging out just waiting. So if you guys will be patient, we'll be back with this young man in 30 seconds. All right, stick with us.
b4Nashville is proudly sponsored by Go-Go Tuners, the go-to tuner for professional and amateur musicians. Get your Go-Go Tuner at gogotuners.com. By Heart to Heart Coffee, the coffee that gives back. Find out more at heart2heartcoffee.com. By Civvy's Apparel, worn by heroes, made with respect. Order yours at civviesapparel.com. And by Three Rangers Whiskey, not for the weak or faint-hearted. ThreeRangers.com.
All right, so there we go. Three Rangers Whiskey. Got a little thing we're going to do here tonight, trying out some new stuff. So bear with me here. I've lost my mouse. I don't know where it went. It's here somewhere. There it is. Now we're getting back on track. So just hang with me here a second. Got a little thing I'm going to do for you, all right?
It started way back in third grade. I used to sit beside in the little haze. A pink dress, a matching bow, and her ponytail. She kissed me on the school bus and then told me not to tell. Next day I chased her around the playground, across the monkey bars to merry-go-round. And never looked, got caught passing it home. Before the teacher took it, I read what she wrote. Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to take me by the hand.
All right, so that is our guest tonight about 6 years ago. So if you're wondering, and his name is Noah Garner. Noah, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, hang on a second. I still got that going. Give me a second here.
It's all right, man. It happens.
I told him he's going to be a guinea pig tonight. He was hanging out in the green room, and unfortunately, my green room's not real stock. You know, my whiskey sponsor there. I'm going to have to get on them so we can get them, get some stuff in there for you.
I could have sworn we talked about me getting a bottle.
It was in the rider, man. It was. I saw it, and I apologize, but I will get on them about that. They failed to come through. But man, what's been going on with you?
Oh, man, working all the time, just, doing as many shows as we can at the top of the year. And we were in the studio a bunch these past couple months. So, I mean, we just been working, trying to make it happen.
That's awesome. It's great that you're able to get in the studios, especially now. Things kind of shut down for a while, but life is finally getting back to semi-normal, I think.
Yeah, it feels that way at least.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, tell me a little bit about Noah in the early years growing up. What was that like?
Man, I mean, how early do you want to get? It's, it's from the beginning, it's like, I don't know, man. I was kind of the wild child from the get-go, off the run. I wanted to be Elvis for, Halloween, and I wanted to sing all the time. And I guess that's kind of where it all started. And then, when I was about 7, I picked up my first guitar, and I mean, man, we just haven't put it down since. Played my first big show. Well, I say big show. I got my first gig when I was 16. Out in Panama City, we had a little food truck that was called Fins that did fish tacos, and it was literally a trailer, and it had a little stage. I guess you call it a stage. It was a platform, and they let me go out there and play for an hour, and I could eat for free. That was the deal.
Wow. Hey, as a 16-year-old boy, if they're offering free food, you're all over that.
That is exactly right, and they have the best fish tacos in town.
All right. So, I mean, you were growing up in Florida, in Dade City, and
right.
Florida is just, it's one of those, I've never been to Florida. It's on my bucket list to go to. I've not been there yet.
Man, it's the best, man. I can't describe it to people that haven't been. It's such a melting pot of cultures and people and different types of sounds and just everything. And I'll tell you this, the best food in any state across anywhere. You can go to a dang gas station and get the best seafood you ever had in your life. It's just the way it is down there.
Hey, I can put a hurting on some shrimp now. I love me some shrimp. I'm
yes,
telling
sir,
you,
man. Hey, we got to get a low country boil up for you sometime.
Hey, that works for me, man. That absolutely works. So we're gonna talk a little bit about. I mean, you had a pretty eventful teenage years toward the end. I mean, you know, you did what a lot of people do now. You auditioned for American Idol, and that was, were you at 17 when you did that?
Yeah, that was just at 17. Yeah.
Yeah, and got the golden ticket. I mean,
yeah, I mean, so a lot of people may not know this, but you know, they have different rounds of
right.
You know, auditions or whatever before you even get to TV. Really, you have to go through some cuts, some changes, some this and that. So they did a bus tour where they took like a big bus and went to different cities, and this one just happened to be in Tallahassee, which wasn't too far from us. And me and my mom decided might as well give it a shot. And somehow, by the grace of God, they said, you know what, we like you. Why don't we ship you off to Kansas City and see what you really got, and put you on the tube. And we went out there, and that was my whole family. We just had a blast, and it's really fun to look at that now, because without that trip, I don't know if I'd really end up in Nashville.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That was kind of your defining moment.
Yeah, I mean, we went from Kansas City to back to Florida, and I was kind of down and out. I didn't exactly make the cut for the show, and
right.
You know, it's one of those things where, what do you do when you're down? You know what I mean? My grandparents were like, hey, why don't we stop by Nashville and just see what, you know, we've never been. Why don't we go take a trip? And I remember when we got there, I stepped out of the truck, and my mom looked at me, and she had tears in her eyes. And I go, what's wrong? And she just goes, well, I know you're never coming back. And she was right.
Wow. So with that was the moment that you just pretty much decided Nashville's it. I'm here. Nothing can change my mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was it. We just did a weekend here, and it wasn't a year later. I started moving and living here and started doing the dang thing.
Right. And then, I mean, you got, if I remember on your bio correct, you kind of got a special call and started playing around Nashville pretty fast. I mean,
yeah, we got somehow hooked in. I can't remember exactly how it went now, but usually on Saturdays, Tootsie's does, or they used to do an open mic every Saturday night from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock. And it was just a thing of, you know, come in, sing a couple songs with the band, have your Nashville moment, and then, you know, that's just the show or whatever. But somehow the booking agent that books over there was in the crowd, and he came up to me and he said, so do you live here? And I said, if you can just give me 2 weeks, I promise you I'll move up here and I'll make it happen. Just give me 2 weeks. And I told my mom, told my family, told the girl I was seeing at the time, and she was not happy. And she was like, well, if you got to go, you got to go. And I packed up all my stuff and grabbed my guitar and loaded down the truck and headed on the 8-hour drive up. So it's kind of wild, but it was really fun to have an opportunity. I was on the way to Florida State to, you know, do wildlife biology and stuff like that. So
right.
When you have an opportunity like that, you got to jump at it.
Yeah, you don't want to pass that one up. And then, I mean, you were at that time, you were one of the youngest ones on Broadway. I mean, you were running pretty much up and down Broadway, hitting all of them.
We were running gun over there for a minute. I'll tell you, I can't imagine a better way to spend that time in life, at least for me. I was the baby of Broadway. Everybody I knew, all the bartenders called me Baby Noah. I was known as the kid. I would talk to the bookers and they'd be like, oh, the kid's coming into town. Oh, the kid's playing. Oh, here comes the kid. It was wild. You know, I got boy. Everybody called me boy. It was boy this and boy that and kid and Baby Noah. That was I knew I was at least getting a foot in Nashville when the bartenders gave me a nickname. So
absolutely. What was your most memorable experience about that time?
Oh man, there's so many great ones. I mean, I remember the first band show I ever did. I went from playing just by myself, you know, me and a guitar, to Tootsie's kind of put me with this band that they had put together, and I had never played with a full band. I'd never done anything like that, and didn't know what to say, how to say it, when to start a song, you know. And when you play by yourself and then you have a band, you don't feel, or when you're playing by yourself, you fill up the solo spots and you know, kind of tweak things and make things just a little different. And then when you play with a band, they kind of, you know, they know what they're doing, or at least the band I was playing with did. And so I remember that one always sticks out, because at the end of it, the guitar player looked at me and said, I'll tell you what, boy, you're bad. You're bad. You're good. You can be great, but right now you're bad. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I get it. It's the first one. What are you going to do about the first one? Just try to come back and get it done next time. And
absolutely. So
that's always a standout. And then, I mean, gosh, there's so many. I met George Jones's wife, Nancy, one time. And that was early. That was right on pretty much in the first 4 months I lived here. And then I had breakfast with Taylor Swift's dad at a Waffle House one time, and he talked to me for an hour about songwriting and what to do, what not to do. Gave me like a crash test in a conversation, how much you can really say. And he was like, if you stick it out and you can really do it, keep going. And he said, if you haven't written 100 songs yet, you're not a songwriter. And until you write 100 songs, you can't call yourself one. And
wow.
I said, all right. Other than that, I mean, it's like things like that. Other than that, it's a bunch of playing, you know what I mean? It's
right.
We did in those early days. It was, oh man, I remember that first show, or I remember that bar. Oh, I remember when we went there for the first time. It's a bunch of that. And honestly, Nashville never gets really old when it comes to that. It's always fun to go down and look on the row and just be like, oh, I played there. Oh, I remember that show there. It's good times.
That's awesome. And now, growing up, who were some of the influences that you had?
Oh, Alan Jackson, Keith Whitley, George Jones, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Garth, George Strait. I mean, I think those are kind of the big ones. And if I really had to knock it down, it'd really probably be George, Garth, Alan Jackson, Keith Whitley, George Jones. Those are like the big ones.
Right.
And anymore, now it's guys like Eric Church, Ashley McBride. I love Ashley McBride.
Oh, me and you both, buddy.
I mean, golly, she ain't just the best. And
yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, in the early days, it's the things that I got to listen to in my grandpa's truck, you know?
Right. They seem to have an influence on the music whenever you're young like that and you're hanging out with them.
Always, man. I mean, you know, my grandpa drove me to school every morning. My grandpa is my best friend. He's one of the best guys I know. And his daddy played, or got to play with, Hank Williams Sr. When he was alive over in Alabama, and that was awesome. And so it's kind of always been there. And then when I was growing up, we weren't listening to the radio. We were listening to cassettes and CDs of, the good stuff, or what my grandpa called the good stuff,
Yeah.
And, you listen to that enough in the morning on the way to school, you get kind of attached to it.
Right. You talked a little bit about, what Taylor Swift's dad said, if you haven't written 100 songs and you're not a songwriter. Do you remember your first song you ever wrote?
Yeah, I do. It's called Baby. Or it was, I think it was. And it said, the chorus said, Bay A-A-B, please come back to me. Oh, Bay A-A-B, come on down, back to me. And somewhere, I gotta call my mom because I know somewhere she's got a video of it. That is the first song I ever wrote. I was 13. Thought I had, the perfect little love story going, and met this girl on the beach, and she was there for spring break, and she left, and I wanted to do something sweet and nice, so I wrote that little song, and I thought I could play guitar real good, so I threw a couple chords with it. It's really cute to think about now, but man, if you can't get really more on the nose than baby, huh? Bay A-A-A-A-B, come back down to me.
So did the song work? Did you play it for her?
Man, I played it for her, and I'll tell you what, me and that girl, we are still friends to this day. She's married now, has a kid and all that, but we're still friends to this day.
Well, you got Kenny Chesney beat. He tried that in college, wrote a song for a girl, and he fell flat on his face.
That's right. Listen, hey, I can't say that, me writing a song for a girl has worked every time, but that time.
Is that kind of why you got into music, was for the girls, or did you do it just because you loved it so much?
I wish I could sit here and say it's all for the women, but it ain't. No, man, I got into it because it's my life. It's everything I've ever done. I mean, you start playing guitar at 7, and I mean, it's just what you know. I thought for the longest time, I told everybody I wanted to be a politician because I thought that's how you change the world. I said, I want to change the world, and I want to be a politician. I'm going to run for the House of Representatives, and I'm going to be the best Speaker of the House there ever was, stuff like that. And that's a good dream to have every once in a while, if you really want to change the world. I believe that you can do that. But I figured out along the way that I was just better at singing and playing than I was really anything else. And when we started to take it a little more seriously, you got to make a choice. Is this what you're going to chase? If you're going to chase your dream, you might as well go on and chase it forever.
Right.
And if you're not going to chase it, then you got to kind of make that choice and that call. And when it came down to it, we were like, hey, we're going to chase this until it can't no more. And hopefully it works out. And so far, here we are.
Absolutely, man. We got some comments coming in, and I'm trying to catch up with them because there's so many. Got a question here from Ashley, and we'll ask you that here in just a bit. But, folks are saying we love to hear and see you do Eric Church songs. You always find sunglasses from a fan when you do those.
Oh, man, I wish I had them in like grabbing distance from me. I could have slapped them on. I love doing Eric Church. There's nothing. I may not ever be Eric Church, but I'll be danged if I don't do this right here. I found him. Hold on.
There you go.
Bam. That's about as Eric Church can get right there.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Chief.
That's right. Yeah, man. I love it.
Ashley's wanting to know when you're coming back to Florida.
Oh, man. Right now, we don't have anything on the books, but if you keep up with NoahGarnerMusic.com, we always post shows there, and anything on social media, we always post a show. Or had that backwards. Whenever there's a show, we always post it on social media, so make sure you follow us.
All right. Well, we'll make sure they do that. So you kind of have a special friend that you met while you were in Nashville and did a little work with him. Some people may recognize him more from TV than from music,
right.
But he was a pretty big fella, and he's lost a lot of weight since. But he goes by the name of Big Smo.
That's right. Big Smo. I mean, I think it's just Smo now, right? Or Little Smo.
I think he dropped the big. He's just Smo now. How did all that come about?
Oh, man, what a story. I'm trying to figure out how much I can okay, so it was CMA Fest week here in Nashville, and I had a show downtown. I was playing one of the bars. I think it was Rippy's, which is right across from Bridgestone Stadium, which is right next door to a restaurant called The Palm. So to give you an idea, for those that don't know about CMA Fest, the road, Broadway, is blocked off. There's no traffic, no cars. There's little kiosks and stuff set up right down the center, so you can get like lemonade, or you can do little cornhole games, or just stuff like that. And then there's music everywhere. There's music on the river. There's music at the stadium. There's music on little side streets. There's music in every bar. It's happening everywhere. So we were probably like 3 days in to it that week. And I'm walking to the gig, and I put my stuff down. I step outside, and I look, and Big Smo was just walking down the street, just walking, hanging out with one of his friends. And I was like, that's Big Smo. I was like, for sure, that's him. And my buddy was like, no. And I was like, I'm telling you, it is him. And he was like, well, if it's him, go say something. And I was like, fine. So I didn't want to make a scene, and because when you're famous like that, and when meeting famous people, you never want to cause them more grief than they already get from people wanting pictures and autographs and that like that. So I walk up beside him, and I'm walking, and I go, hey man, I know you're Big Smo. I just want to say I'm a big fan, and I just want to shake your hand. And he stops, and he shakes my hand. He goes, what's your name? I said, my name's Noah. I play guitar. I'm a singer. In fact, if you're not doing anything, I'm playing over here in like the next 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. If you're not doing anything, just come on by. And he said, all right, I'll think about it. And the way he tells it, and I'm lucky that this happened, he said that something told him to go after that kid. It was something just told him, just go find him. And he walked into the show, and my whole family was there. My best friend was there. And I just started beaming ear to ear, and he watches me play a show, and he goes, hey, I've got a gig in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my number. Why don't you give me a call in the morning, and you meet me at that gig? I was like, all right, cool. Thank you so much. You don't expect anything. You just kind of thank you for the opportunity. And
Right.
we get there, and we watch him play. And he goes, so how would you like to play guitar for me and sing for me? And I about lost my mind, because that's the first big chance you really get. And I said, man, I'd love to. Just let me get some things in order. I had some shows I had to do and take care of. So I said, how about you just give me a minute, and let me straighten out some things, and I'll definitely go. And we did our first show in Dothan. That was October. So that had to be in June. We did our first show that October of that year. And then we were just kind of running and gunning there for a while. He really gave me kind of my first taste of tour life and what it'd be like to play and what it's like to go out, and kind of showed me how to react and deal with being a star, really, because everybody knew who he was everywhere we went all the time. And he was always so kind and smiling with everybody. And, that's kind of stuff that you pick up and you learn, and you go, I want to do that when I get to that point.
Wow. How old were you whenever all that happened?
Oh, I believe I was 19, almost 20.
Wow.
So I think I was 19 when we met, 20. I turned 20 that May. So we started playing in October. I turned 20 in May. So yeah, I was 19 when we met.
Wow. That's pretty wild, man.
And
That's a great story, though.
I'll tell you, man, I tell these stories to anybody that'll listen, really, but every time I talk about it, you can't believe it's happening to you. I've said that story how many times, and it's like, how lucky can a man get, really, in his lifetime just to have something like that? And I hope maybe one day I'll find a guy that's playing Broadway when he's 19 and he needs somewhere to go and something to do, and hopefully I'll be able to return the favor.
Right. What now Ashley asked a question. I think she said she had to jump off here, but she did ask this question, and I want to find out, what is the greatest moment of your career so far?
Whoa. Wow, what a question. Oh man, that's so hard. I got a top three, and I'll tell you these three, and then pick one of those.
Okay.
Opening for Ashley McBryde is probably one of the greatest things I'll ever do in my lifetime, much less in my career. How in the world I stumbled into that or got lucky enough to do that, I'll never really know, but that one always stands out. There's, you meet a lot of people, but that was such an amazing show, such a great thing to be a part of. Unbelievable to meet her. She was so nice. So there's that. I played the Tootsie's birthday bash one time for, I can't even remember how many thousands of people.
Oh, wow.
Thousands. I mean, they blocked off the street. It was thousands. And I played that. I did 2 songs, and that was something that I'm always chasing, is getting back to seeing a crowd like that. Is awesome. And then I got to sing with Garth Brooks, and I can see we got a comment there about singing with Garth Brooks. That is probably the top one out of all those 3 things. That's probably the most, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening moment.
Yeah.
Because, like opening up for Ashley, I kind of had a chance to prepare in the sense of I knew it was happening, right?
Right.
The Tootsie's birthday, I knew that was coming, so I practiced and all that. That Garth moment is about as unplanned and unexpected and unbelievable as anything can get. I mean, I just showed up for a podcast taping, you know what I mean? And
right.
When he said, have y'all ever done a Q&A before? I said, I'm going to ask him if I can sing with him. I just knew I was going to ask if I got the chance. And then out of all the people, right, that had their hands up, that wanted to question, and all that, to get there and have somebody hand you a microphone and talk to Garth Brooks, just talk to him, much less do anything.
Right.
And then to get to sing with Garth Brooks, I looked at my mom and said, boy, I could quit right now and never do anything else, and I'd be just fine and happy.
Wow. Well, Karen sent us a message, so I'm posted that up there for you to read.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I believe that's my grandma right there.
Karen Marler, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's my grandma. And came on.
Hi, Grandma.
Said he was the most lucky boy on earth. I did. I always feel like that. I still think I'm the luckiest kid alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've listened to your stuff today, really close. I've listened to everything that I've gotten, and then I went on and listened to some other stuff today on the drive home from work, and I work in radio, so I've left the station, and I've connected my phone, and so I'm like tracking down, just cranking Noah up as loud as it'll go, pretty much.
Thank you.
And driving through town and down the interstate. And man, I got to tell you, when it comes to your songs, and this is me, this is IMO, this is
right.
In my opinion. So I'll put that out there for everybody that likes to use the little stuff for text and stuff. This is IMO for you. Dude, you've got a freaking awesome traditional type of country voice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're country music is so fragmented now.
Absolutely.
With country pop and country rock and country rap, and then you've got the traditional and the classics and all that stuff. But listening to your voice, man, is just like, this is country, pure and simple.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
It's amazing stuff.
I think that's kind of the highest compliment you can get, is when people tell you things that you wish you could hear. I coming from where I came from and listening to things I listen to, I think I've always kind of wanted to have that, and to just know that does come across. That just means a lot. So thank you very much.
Well, you're absolutely welcome. Now, Paul or Robert says, "Little Garth at a Little George."
Man, I try to be the mix, man, if I can help it.
Well, that's a way to be, man. You got, from what I've understood about your shows, and I have not seen them, although I hope I will be in Nashville in a week.
Hey, man,
a week from Tuesday, and I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to be a busy man, but I'm going to try my hardest to make one of your shows that week because I know
Yeah.
you got several lined up. And from what I've heard, you got a lot of Garth in your show, just a lot of high energy and, just putting yourself out on that stage 110%.
I used to want to be Garth my whole life, man. You know what I mean? And I used to want to be Elvis and Steven Tyler and all these guys that are really performers. They're not just singers. They don't just get up there and they just say the words. Only George Strait, in my opinion, could ever just get up there and just stand still.
Right.
And it worked. It just works.
It's because he's the king.
Exactly. That's right. But being an entertainer is something I wanted to be my whole life. So when I get the chance, I want everybody to know that the moment that we're in, sharing this experience, these 3.5 minutes, whether the song is happy, sad, angry, whatever.
Right.
I want you to understand that not only am I connecting to the song itself, but I want you to connect to the song itself. And I want us to share a moment together where we may not have the same story, but we both understand this song or feel this way for a reason. So let's share that moment together. Let's be a couple humans, spinning on this big old rock, and let's get through the next 3.5 minutes together. Because for me, what is my job or what is my purpose of really doing this if it's not connecting with people and feeling with them and going through things with them without a crowd and without performing for people? You're kind of just doing it for yourself, which is fine. But I think if you're given the chance, you should really pour your heart out. And then I always got a good piece of advice growing up that said, if you're going to do anything, whether that's flip burgers or walk on the moon, you better do it 110% and give it everything you got. Otherwise, it just ain't worth doing.
Right.
So I kind of take that into it.
That's some great advice, that's for sure. Let's shift over to songwriting for a second, because I want to know basically, like, your songs, do you write solo or co-write on everything that you do, or do you have some that people send you and you listen to and go, yeah, I think I'll do that one?
It's a little bit of all of it, really. So a lot of it has been just me, because I think when you're starting out as a songwriter, that's kind of how it goes. You just, can I do this? What does it sound like if I put a couple chords together with a couple words that I think sound good? Then when you get that going, you get into that mode of, well, I write like this. This person writes kind of like me. How about we get together? And so I'd say in the past 2-3 years, the co-write sign has gone way up. I love to co-write anymore, especially I'd say in the past 6 months or so, it's gone up a whole lot. Like I used to have a couple, maybe 1 or 2 in a month, and now I'm doing like 4 or 5 in a week, which is awesome. I love it. It's a great way to be in the community in Nashville. It's a great way to meet new people, hear new stuff. I mean, I've heard some of the best songs you'll ever hear, and nobody will ever hear them. Like,
right.
And that's just based off co-writes alone. And then I've been lucky enough every once in a while, and it hasn't happened a ton, but I'll get a couple songs sent to me, or somebody will pitch an idea or something like that and tell me to run with it. I've gotten a few half-written songs, that somebody came to me, they were half done. Hey, I got a verse and a chorus. Can you help me finish it? Hey, that kind of thing. And that, that's, as a songwriter, that's always tense, because you want to do it right. I mean, at least when I write it or when I co-write with somebody, we kind of have an idea of what we want it to sound like and stuff like that before we go in the studio. When you're just kind of handed one, it's like, well, unless they have it recorded and send you a demo, it's kind of like, well, we're just kind of shooting this one in the dark. But it's a little bit of everything.
You there was something you said I was gonna shoot you a question on. Let me see if I can regroup with that one. In the meantime, I'll ask this one. out of the folks that you've written with, and then this may be hard, and if you don't feel like you can answer this, because it is kind of a difficult question,
Sure.
who would you say are the top 3 that you like to write with?
Oh, Brian Lowry, Aaron
Mhm.
Simmons, and Robert Leonard. I say that so fast because I really do love these guys, but I don't want to take away from everybody else that I work with.
Right.
I love working with the people that I work with. I'm lucky to have those people in my life. There is something about, especially Rob, probably Hillbilly Rob was my first co-write. I call him Hillbilly Rob as a nickname. I probably should use his real name, but I mean, me and Hillbilly Rob, we've been writing for almost 3 years now together. I might even have that wrong. It might be 3, almost 4. A long time. We've been writing forever. He was my first co-write in town, and there's always going to be that thing of he was not only just the first co-write, but he was a co-write that went really, really well. So I love writing with Rob, and then Aaron and Brian. I kind of got lucky, like bumping into them, and meeting them. Aaron has the best way I can describe it as a writer. He's very Merle Haggard, very storyteller, nice songs. Love it. Brian is kind of the jack of all trades. If I'm stuck on a melody, he'll get it. You know what I mean? Oh, why don't we go here? Well, why don't we say this? So that's always fun. And then if I'm having a trouble with a line, he always finds a way of coming in. Well, we could say it like that, and it's never with all 3 of these guys. And this is probably what sets them apart. There's never any question of intention. It is always, hey, I want to make the song as good as possible. Right.
Right.
So you'll get in a write where sometimes, you'll say, hey, I got this idea, and people will look at you and be like, well, so I want to write this. And it's like, okay. Brian and Aaron and Rob, it's always just been, hey, let's hang out, and just hopefully a song will come up. And every time we've hung out, a song has come out of it. So it's just love, I guess.
Wow. What is your normal process for writing? I mean, you start with like the inspiration and then work up until it's ready to take to studio.
It kind of it depends. When on the things that I've written that are by myself, it all kind of comes from something that is happening, or something that I've said, or something that I'm doing that is heavy on my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's on my mind? What am I going to talk about? And 9 times out of 10, you talk about what's on your mind, what you've been going through. So I sit around a lot and I just play guitar until I find something that sounds good, or I just fiddle around playing songs until I go, oh, that's a cool chord change. I wonder what I could do with that. And then once you get that, it's kind of put the 2 together. Oh, I like these chords and I like this idea. Now just make them work. When I show up to a co-write, I show up with 2 intentions, which is either come with a thought and prepared to pitch, right? Hey guys, this is my idea. This is what I've been thinking about lately. Can we write it? Right. Or I go in with the intention of, what can I add or do to make their idea or this song happen the best way possible? What can I add and what can I do? And that always kind of starts with the same thing. You get in there and you talk to each other. What's been going on? How's your day? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? You all toss something out there until somebody inevitably says a title, a line, something, and everybody will go, that's it. Let's write that. And then the second that happens, it's just a matter of finding the chords at that point. So I think it all, for me, at the very least, it starts with an inspiration of your heart. What is happening? What's going on? What can we talk about? Because I think it's real easy to write a song when you just get a idea. Hey, let's write a song about trucks. I can write a song about a truck pretty fast because we all know trucks. It's trying to find that step beyond. It's not just a truck, right? If
Right.
if a truck song is on your heart, that's fine. But why? Are we talking about your daddy's truck? Are we talking about your first truck? Are we talking about how, you know, you show up at a mud hole and there's a million trucks out there? Like, why does it matter in that moment? And then once you figure out that why, you just got to write it down.
Wow. That's I love that. I mean, your process is just it's actually kind of philosophical, to be honest with you.
Thank you very much. I try. This is the way I look at it. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but for me, when I listen to like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and George and all that, you're listening to guys that are telling the truth, more so telling their truth. When you hear George Jones sing about drinking himself to death, you believe it because that's what he was doing at the time. When you hear Merle Haggard sing about prison, it's because he lived in prison for the longest. And that's what I want. When I don't care if my song's happy, like we got like Cover Up Tattoo is a super fun, you know, little beach jam.
Yeah.
It's a real story. That really happened. You know what I mean? So that was what was on my heart. You can make it fun. We can laugh about it, and it's fun to laugh about, but at least it's the truth, right?
Well, and that brings up a question that I had, because as I'm on the way home and I'm listening to your music, and Cover Up Tattoo comes on, and the first thought was, I wonder if this is real. And then I thought, you know, if it is, I wonder how long they were together before he had those initials put on his arm.
Yeah, man. 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. Me and this girl, give you a backstory. Me and this girl, I was trying to date this girl forever. And we had kind of run around town, dating other people, couldn't make it happen. Friends couldn't make it happen, that kind of thing. So then when we were finally together, I had lost my ever-loving mind. You know, I was like, I got it. I did it. I got the girl. I got the girl. I got the girl. And we weren't together hardly. I really think it was 6 months. It could have been a year. I just remember it was around an anniversary, or, you know, like a big date like that.
Right.
And, hey man, you know, you think you found the one pretty young, and you'll do some wild stuff to try to prove it.
Yeah, you will.
It didn't last or even matter, boy. Like a month or two later after that, we were done, and I was kind of looking at that tattoo going, dang, I gotta get this thing covered up. I'll tell you, there's nothing like going on a date with a girl and having another woman's name on your body.
Oh,
Or looking at you on that day going, so who's that? And it's like, well, let me try to explain this.
yeah. What had happened was
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Oh, so in 2017 that's when you released basically your first single. It's Raining Where You Are. Well, I think it was your second single at that point.
No, that was the first one. Is Raining Where You Are is the first one.
And that was released to radio. Tell me about It's Raining Where You Are, because that was another one of those, man. I mean, I'm coming home tonight and I'm going, there are dudes listening to this song going, God damn, that's me.
Thank you, man. I really liked, and to this day I love it, a song called Somewhere With You, by Kenny Chesney.
Yep.
And I just love that song, and I would play it all the time, and I go, I want to write a song like this so bad, so very bad. And I thought about that for probably 3 days. Man, I want to write a song like that. Man, I want to write a song like that. Man, I really want to write a song like that. And then I was going to go fishing with a buddy of mine here in Nashville, and he doesn't live here anymore. But he lived on the other side of town, right? So about like 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive between me and him. And we were supposed to go fishing that day. And in a text, I just said, hey man, is it raining where you are? Because it's raining where I'm at. And when I read, is it raining where you are? I was like, that is a dang title. That makes so much sense to me. It just hit, man, is it raining where you are? But like, you get it. Is it raining where you are? But also, do you feel the way I do? That makes sense, right? And I called my mom and I was like, I think I got this idea. What do you think? She's like, well, you just got to write it. And it didn't take very long, you know, and I don't know where it came from. I wasn't even going through a breakup at the time, but it was one of those things where I knew what my intention was with the title. I knew I wanted to paint a picture of it's painful here where I'm at. I'm just wondering, is it at nearly as bad for you there?
Right.
Let's write that out. And I got really lucky with writing a song like that just in general, and then to have it be premiered on my hometown radio station, it's like, man. But yeah, that's kind of the whole story behind it. I really, really just wanted to write Somewhere With You over again. And
right.
You know, Is It Raining Where You Are just happened to be a good title.
Right. Yeah. I think your grandma kind of gave away the video secret on that one.
Oh, she did. Oh, she did. And she's not lying. I'll tell you, that morning of the shoot, we were like, it's not going to rain today. What are we going to do? And we took I think it was like $20, $30. Went down to Home Depot, grabbed a sprinkler and a dang water hose, and went to the bar that we were filming at and said, I hope that y'all got a water hose spout out in the parking lot. And they said, oh, we do. And so there's a picture somewhere floating of Big Smo actually directed and shot that. So there's a picture of Smo with the camera like holding it like this with, I want to say my grandma or my mom holding an umbrella, right? With a high school friend of mine with the hose and in this hand and the sprinkler in this hand, trying to direct the sprinkler to go the right way. And it just, it was so much fun. I had all my high school friends were there for that. My high school girlfriend was there. My family was there. And there was such a cool moment. But yeah, water hose will get you through if you don't have rain.
You got to use the resources, man. That's all I'm saying.
It ain't about being perfect. It's about getting it done. All right.
Right. That's right. Use what you can. Since we're talking about Kenny Chesney and we were talking about, the earlier songs and stuff.
Yeah.
What is one song that you say to yourself, just absolutely the one song that you go, golly, why could I have not written that song?
Two come to mind.
Okay.
If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Mm-hmm.
Good God Almighty. I mean, you're talking. So tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of in case tomorrow never comes. I mean, how I got chills just saying it. I mean, I can't imagine what it must have been like to be in that room and to have that thought or to write that song down. It's so good. It's unbelievable. So I think that, and then I think of a song called A Man Who Was Gonna Die Young by Eric Church. I think it's the most honest I've ever heard a man be in his entire life. And I mean with anybody. He spells it all out. You know, I'm a man who likes fast cars and pawn shop dreams, and I've chased a lot of crazy things, and talks about all the stuff that he's gone through and things that he's done, and looks at the woman that loves him and goes, what the hell made you want to love a man that was going to die young? And I think Eric Church has probably said everything I've ever wanted to say exactly how I've wanted to say it. And that's one of the ones where it's like, I wish I could have even thought of saying that.
Yep.
Those two for sure. Those hands down.
Well, we've talked a lot about music and songwriting and stuff like that. So I guess we probably ought to get into one of the reasons that I got you on tonight was your music. And I've got one here that's we're going to talk about the backstory once it's done.
Gotcha.
And we'll let them hear that one. And we'll have that for you in just about 30 seconds. So stick around.
B4Nashville is proudly sponsored by Go-Go Tuners, the the go-to tuner for professional and amateur musicians. Get your go-go tuner at gogotuners.com. Buy Heart to Heart Coffee, the coffee that gives back. Find out more at heart2heartcoffee.com. Buy Sibby's Apparel, worn by heroes, made with respect. Order yours at sibbysapparel.com and buy Three Rangers whiskey, not for the weak or faint-hearted. ThreeRangers.com.
All right, so now we're going to get into the music. This is Noah Garner, and this one is called Gonna Drink Again.
I woke up with one of those headaches that makes you wonder how you survived. On the beer and the whiskey and shots of tequila that we threw down all night. It's that kind of feeling that gets folks saying that I'm never gonna drink again. I like to repeat it, but I've got a feeling that my drinking days ain't done yet. 'Cause Friday night's coming and me and my boys are damn sure gonna throw down. Calling babies up, tell them get dolled up, 'cause now we're tearing up this town. I might try to lie and say it ain't gonna happen, but I bet you by this weekend, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna drink again. You can only drink so much sweet tea before you go out of your mind. I like talking to you, honey, but if I'm being honest, I need something stronger than wine. How in the hell can I watch the game without a beer at halftime? With the prison in the lead, man, I should be dancing on the floor tonight. 'Cause Friday night's coming and me and my boys are damn sure gonna throw down. Calling babies up, tell them get dolled up, 'cause now we're tearing up this town. I might try to lie and say it ain't gonna happen, but I bet you by this weekend, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna drink again. Well, Friday night's coming and me and my boys are damn sure gonna throw down. Calling babies up, tell them get dolled up, 'cause tonight we're tearing up this town. I might try to lie and say it ain't gonna happen, but I bet you by this weekend, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna drink again.
And that is Noah Garner with Gonna Drink Again. Now, I got to tell you this. I can tell that you're a huge Eric Church fan, but you took it to an extreme, because one thing I've noticed in a lot of your music, you know, Eric's got Joanna Cotton back there, and that girl has got a voice that would just, my gosh, so powerful. But you've got a pretty awesome backup singer, too. I don't know who she is, but she's got a good voice.
That would be Miss Katrina Austin. And she is my Joanna Cotton. I mean, she's beyond that. I mean, she's unbelievably talented. She does every single show in Nashville that I do here. She does every single show with me. She writes her own songs. She is by far one of the best singers I've probably ever heard, just in general. I mean, she could sing the dang phone book and it would sound good. Somehow, some way, I got lucky enough to meet her and convince her to just kind of take a chance on singing with me. And she has added something to my sound that it's humbling to hear, you know, Eric Church and Joanna, and then have that comparison to us. Puts me at a loss for words sometimes, really, because that's how I feel going into it when we record. That's how I look at it when we're singing on stage together. I think she's unbelievable and can really take a song from being a pretty decent, okay song to making it a great record radio #1, and just by being on it.
And I mean, when I heard her, and I don't think it was that one. I think it was. I mean, I heard her on Gonna Drink Again, but I heard her on another one.
Probably Spring Break Town, huh?
I think it was. Is she on Why Whiskey?
She is on Why Whiskey as well, yeah.
Maybe that's where I heard her the first time because
Yeah.
of listening. And I mean, I don't know who the producer and the engineer was on that, but they did it really good because they brought her up enough. You know, a lot of times background singers are just that. They're in
Right.
the background, but she kind of got spotlighted like it was a duet right next to you.
Right. That,
You know?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to. That's the producer's my best friend. He's my roommate. We've been best friends since he was 10, I was 9. And I'm 25, or I'll be 25 this year. So 14 years, 15 years.
Wow.
Long time. He is an unbelievable man. His name is Michael Cruz, and you'll probably hear that name in industry books somewhere, sometime in the future. But he's the one that does all the magic for it.
Right. Out of all the honky tonks that you've played, not just in Nashville, I mean, anywhere that you played out, what would you say is your absolute favorite one to play in?
These are great questions. I gotta say, I don't think I've ever been asked this before. Oh man. Oh, there's so many great honky tonks. I'm gonna have to say the Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Dallas. You want to talk about just playing a room? Like, I don't know if I got a good day that day or if that's just how they live out there, but yeah, I'd have to say Gas Monkey. That was a great show. That's a great bar. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen. Like, just such a great layout. And if not that one, Cotton Eye Joe's over in Knoxville, like those two. I love those bars. I really do.
Those I've never been to. I've heard of Cotton Eye Joe's in Nashville. I mean, sorry,
Yeah, Knoxville.
Knoxville. And Nashville, Knoxville, tomato. Now.
It's all the same, really. You know, it's
all Tennessee. I mean, for crying out loud. People in Knoxville are cussing me right now.
Right. You know it too, man. Especially the Tennessee and Vandy rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
We probably just made a whole bunch of people mad.
We probably did. That's all right. Like my daddy said, they get over it.
There it is.
So what's your most embarrassing stage moment, you know? And I ask that because, you know, Luke Bryan, he's a great guy, but God love you, Luke. You're a klutz on stage, brother.
Can't stay up on his feet, can he?
Not.
I've had so many. I've had a lot of great times. Two that come to mind. About as hard as you can fall, fell over the stage monitors into the crowd, onto somebody with my guitar in hand. Oh, that was bad. That was pretty bad because I've tripped and fallen into people before and been caught, and you know, you kind of get pushed back and it's fine. This was not that case. This was me just eating it. I mean, I went, you know, head over boots, just down, and fell into this guy in the front row, and he went to catch me, and in trying to catch me, fell down as well. That was pretty bad.
Right.
And honestly, thinking about that one, I done lost the other one. I got groped on stage, essentially. Like I was doing a show, and I was up on this bar, and this bar was pretty high. So like where I'm standing, my feet are about like shoulder level with people. Right. And, you know, people having fun, doing what they're going to do. I get this hand coming up the back side of my leg. It starts, at my like ankle. She's got like my ankle. And she's going up my leg, the back, the backside. I'm thinking that she's going to just go straight up and just grab my butt and we'll all laugh and just move on.
Right.
That was not the case on this one either. Mind you, my mom, like I'm looking at my mom and I'm looking at my grandma sitting next to her. They're right there. And I'm looking at them singing and like we're all like just playing this big old show. And this girl went from, like doing this little number on like my ankle and calf and went up and then wrapped her dang hand around and just got a dang handful of whatever the heck she was trying to grab onto. And I jumped about 10 feet off the ground and, couldn't believe it. It was about as red could ever get. And had to look at my mom and I sorry, like it's embarrassing. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry. And she just smiled and laughed it off. And between those two, I don't know which one I'm more embarrassed about, really, from falling down.
Right. The secret to that show is mom caught her outside and her day was over.
Hey, man, my mom is 5'2" and not to be messed with. All right.
I hear you. What about the ceiling fan?
Where in the world did you get that?
I'll never reveal my sources.
That, yeah, I'll take that. I thought I was real cool, real hot stuff, just getting up on the bar and wasn't paying attention and got a dang ceiling fan right to the noggin, about as hard as you can go. Yeah, I'll chalk that up. Man. I'll tell you, that one's so quick. It happens so fast that you kind of don't think about it. And I try to play it off. So I didn't think about that, but that has to be up there, man. If it ain't number one, it's got to be in the top two.
Oh, I'm guessing this is a relative, but
crying, laughing.
Yeah.
You have no idea, man. Trust me, my family gets a good kick out of me. They really do.
Oh my word.
I'll give it the old college try. Give it a go round.
Well, I've got a little segment of the show here that I like to do, and it's just kind of off the wall stuff. And so we're going to move to that real quick. All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right.
What the hell? What the hell? The hell? The hell? What the hell? What the hell?
So we named it What the Hell.
What the hell?
What the hell? So it's just kind of goofy questions just to ask and, and find out if you could be reincarnated as an animal, what animal would it be?
Red panda. Instantly. Red panda by a mile.
Okay.
It's my favorite animal. They're the coolest. Have you never seen a red panda in your lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
Go to a zoo instantly. They're like the cutest things ever and the coolest things ever. They're like fox pandas. This is the best way I know how to put it. It's like a little stubby body, red with a long tail, right. And the face looks like a panda. Damn, that's what I want to be.
Wow. Let's see.
This is a great question. I love it.
What is the main thing on your bucket list? That's not so much an off the wall one, but it's still a good one.
Main thing off. I want to play the Grand Ole Opry before my grandpa dies. That's my bucket list thing. If I can do one thing before I really go, I'd want it to be that. Like I said, my great grandfather played and all that, so his dream was to play the Opry, and he never got a chance. And when I first started, my grandpa always said, he's looking down on you. He's looking down on you. And I got him around now, so hopefully I get the chance. But I think if I had to pick one thing on that list, it had to be that. I want to play the Opry in front of my grandpa.
Wow. That's a special one too, more than anything.
Man, he is sorry not to get like that, but he's my best friend. He's my whole world.
Well, that's cool, man. It's always awesome to have those folks around. Trust me, I've um we won't get into that, but
No,
if
no.
if you could have a themed birthday party, what would the theme be?
Oh, hockey, probably. I love hockey.
Hmm.
So either like Nashville Predator themed or like hockey themed. I'll take it.
That's a good one. If um if there were a topic that came up in a conversation that you're totally clueless about, what topic is that going to be?
Oh no. Anything sciency, anything
Mhm.
at all. Like chemistry, uh that. I'd be about as lost can get.
Let's see here. What's one thing you have to have with you all the time?
My boots. I go anywhere in my boots. You can be naked and have a pair of boots and be okay. You'll be all right.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, we're gonna get into some more kind of serious questions here,
Gotcha.
real quick. What about let's see, sorry.
No, you're right.
Um, in your shows, what is your favorite song to cover?
To make you feel my love. Anytime I get a chance to play it, I do.
Mhm.
Garth did a really great cut that I try to, I guess, reenact or so, however you say that. But I try to do that version of it a lot. But that's just such a great song. A lot of people know it and love to dance to it, and they'll sing along with you. So
Mhm. Now, another couple of quick questions right here. Then we're going to get into kind of what's happening with you to now.
right.
But so here's a hypothetical question. All
Okay.
right, and I'm going to preface it by saying this: the meat of the question. Everybody is on the same level.
Gotcha.
There's nobody that is not available to say their name when I ask you this question, okay?
Gotcha.
You are doing your very first arena tour. I mean, you're doing like the Garth Brooks, Kenny
Yeah.
Chesney, Eric Church type tour,
Oh, yeah.
50, 70,000, 150,000 people.
One day.
Who are you going to have on the road with you as your openers? To give us two names, two groups, two individuals that you're going to take out on that tour, that you're going to make that phone call and say, hey, this is Noah. I want you to go on the arena tour with me.
Oh no. Oh no. I think I have to put Ashley
Hmm.
on the road mainly because I feel like if I wasn't on the road with her, I'd be sad. Like if I have a chance, Ashley McBride.
Hmm.
The part where it comes in now is like, now who else do I add? Because I don't want to go up against Garth in the same night. Does that make sense?
Right.
I want to say Garth, like I want to be like, oh, Garth Brooks, easy. But I
Right.
don't want to go up against him on stage. There's no way. So, like, Shenandoah.
Oh, wow.
I would take Shenandoah and Ashley McBride on tour right now. Mainly because, not that I don't want to compete with them or whatever. It's the pure simple fact of I love 2 Dozen Roses with
Yep.
all my heart. It was one of my favorite songs. And if I got to see, you would see me in the front row of that show every night. I would sit right there and listen to them every night. And I'd sing along to every word every time. So Shenandoah and Ashley McBride, definitely. And Ashley, just because she's the best. I mean, she's just the best.
Well, I'm going to give you an idea for when this becomes a reality, okay?
Yes, sir.
When you're out on tour and Shenandoah is opening for you, and you know they're going to do the song, but at some point you need to do it in your set and bring them out to sing it with you.
How cool would that be? I would die, first of all, singing it with them. I play that song all the time in general, but oh man, if I ever got the chance, I'd probably choke. I don't know if you saw the video of me singing with Garth, but when I realized that I was singing with one of my heroes, I froze to death. I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Well, I know Marty would be definitely happy to do that with you for sure.
He's such a great guy. I got to meet him backstage one time, and you can't meet a whole, nicer person, really. I mean, he's just all the way around. He's just beaming all the time. I'd be really lucky.
I have had the opportunity one time to introduce them on stage, and that was probably, I wouldn't say that was, gosh, I don't want to say it wasn't the highlight, because I've introduced Joe Diffie twice before he passed, Justin Moore,
yes, sir,
Sawyer Brown,
yes, sir, yeah,
yes. Restless Heart, I introduced them. I mean,
keep it going for the people, man.
That's about the end of it. I haven't got anybody else. One of these days, I would love to introduce Garth Brooks one of these days on stage. I would be out of my mind, I'll be honest with you, and Ashley McBride, I would freeze up as announcing her. I'd just lock up. I mean, it would be like, a motor blowing. Just all of a sudden, I'm done.
Like a motor blowing, man. That's I can't tell you I promise you this, if I ever get a chance, if we ever get the chance, I hope that there's a day where you're introducing hopefully me and Ashley McBride. I really hope that happens.
Oh man, I'd have to. I'm telling you the truth. I am honestly telling you the truth. There's going to have to be a gurney at the stage side, because
hey, that's all right. Okay. We will have EMTs on standby.
Ashley is one of my favorites. I thought I was going to get to see her last year at home. They have a huge 4-day rodeo, and she was supposed to be there last year. And of course, lovely old COVID put an end to that real quick. Actually, it was year before last. In 2020, and it was bad. I was disappointed. She comes and hangs out at the rodeo quite a bit. I mean,
she is the coolest woman alive right now. I mean, she's does all the cool stuff, hangs at rodeos, drives this amazing truck around. That's like the prettiest thing you've ever set your eyes on. Is about rough and tumble boy, like as you can get. Like she'll throw down, like dope, but then can also just break your heart in a way that only she can. I mean, golly, she's so good.
She's the kind of woman, when the fight starts, I want to be on her side.
Damn right. That's exactly right.
So I'm sitting here, and I got curious because, like I said, I'm going to be in Nashville in a couple of weeks, and I was looking at your schedule. First thing, brother, you are busy
all the time, man. All the time. If I'm in town, I'm doing like 4 shows a week.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 shows on tomorrow night.
That's right. I'm doing 2 tomorrow. We're off Saturday. Nope, I'm doing 2 tomorrow. I'm doing 1 Saturday. Yeah. I'm doing
private event on Saturday, but you do have Super Bowl off, so good for you, and the day after, so that's always good.
Yeah, here's the main thing. If you're gonna take the Super Bowl off and not work, that means you're planning on doing it right.
Right.
But you gotta have a recovery day. You gotta have a dang day to get all the all that pain and all that sorrow out, man. Like,
right.
When you're waking up in the bed the next day, man, that whole this right here is just, you gotta have a day to recover that.
Right. So speaking of Super Bowl, before we move on with the schedule, who you picking?
The Bengals better win because they beat the Titans. So the Bengals don't win, I'll be mad. Love the Rams. I want to see Stafford get the Super Bowl. Like, there's part of me that wants to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if we're gonna lose, I want it to be against the people that won. So it's like, it's gonna have to be the Bengals.
Right. I that's kind of the way. I mean, I'm just kind of I'm I have a stake of disrespect, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah,
For
for
both.
sure.
You know, the Bengals beat the Chiefs. I'm from Missouri. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. You know, that
Yeah, I get
bad
it.
taste in my mouth.
I get it.
But,
I really do. I
what
don't
makes it
care.
even worse is the Rams were in St. Louis, and then they just pulled out one night. I mean, it was just like they packed up and left, didn't tell nobody.
It's like, man, I feel like if like I would have wanted the St. Louis Rams to go. Like I would have cared a little bit more. And not to say that I don't care, but it's like
Right.
Odell's there, cool. Stafford's there, cool. I mean, you got a couple, but it's fine. I really thought that the Titans were going to have it this year. I really did. And then I was watching the game, and to watch them crumble like that, I said to my buddy Aaron, I said, man, if the Bengals don't win this year, you ain't going to hear from me at all next year. You won't see me in a dang lick of Titans, nothing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I was like, and if they win, I'll be okay. Because if they win, at least we lost, to a hard team that won they're the champs.
Right.
If they don't, oh man, it's going to be a tough time in Tennessee, man.
I'm telling you, man, it was a heartbreaker. And then when they turned around and beat Kansas City, I'm like, golly, my top two teams, the Chiefs and the Titans, and they beat them both.
I can't believe. I thought the Chiefs were really going to kind of steamroll them, really.
Yeah.
I
did too.
And I just couldn't believe it. I still kind of can't, but I guess that's kind of why I'm going for the Bengals is like, if you're going to do all this unbelievable stuff, y'all better get
That's right. You better keep it coming, don't pull this third time's a charm stuff, third time, you better beat them because
that's right.
You've already taken out the two I like. So, so you got back to your run here. I mean, this is like a tour, man. You are every single day. You've got up through the 18th, and then you got a couple of days off, and then you're going on the 22nd, and then I thought that expanded down, but it didn't on me there. I think the 23rd, several days you're doing stuff at Johnny Cash's and Nudies during those days and doing like afternoon shows from 2 to 6.
That's right.
And I mean, man, they just keep you busy. They either, really love you in Nashville or they're going to work you and hoping that you're going to finally give up because they're working you too hard.
That's right. No, I think, I have a really great relationship. I mean, I'm trying to put it into words because great just doesn't say it.
Right.
Your family in Nashville, people really care. They really do. We're all here for the same reason. And the bookers downtown that book these clubs and stuff, they know that you're trying and that you have, you're trying to make a life. You're trying to make a career here. So, you go out on the road. I might not play Nashville for a month, maybe.
Right.
But when I come back, I have a spot, and that's the good Lord's way of just kind of getting me through,
right.
Giving me the chance to kind of play down there. It's beyond love is what I'm trying to say. It's not, joking around. It's fun to say, oh, they love you in Nashville. But I think at the very least, it's, some folks do or might, because we've been doing this together for 7 years now. I've been playing downtown. So you get to know somebody that long or, a couple guys that long, and they'll help you out. And hopefully I'll get a chance to help them out someday too.
Wow. That's pretty awesome though, man. And I'm super excited because like I said, I'll be there. I'm going to be there about 5 days that week. We're coming in on Tuesday and we're coming back home on Sunday. So we're going to head out on Sunday.
Gotcha, man. If you aren't doing anything and I'm playing, please come out. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, we'll find a way to get there. I've got a lot. Actually, I'm taking the podcast on the road for that week, so I'll be doing my podcast from Nashville.
Sure, all righty.
So, you never know. We might just decide to throw you up live on the podcast from Johnny Cash's or Nudies or something like that.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be so much fun.
just share that with folks. So, that's, you can't ever tell about me, man. I'm a rebel.
I'm ready. But I don't say no to a whole hell of a lot. So you just got to let me know what you want to do.
Hey, we'll do it, man. We'll do it. We'll be there. So, man, I tell you, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
This has been a fantastic conversation. It has not been anything that felt like an interview whatsoever for me.
I appreciate you saying that. Honestly, it hasn't felt that way for me, other than the fact of having really good questions that I had to think about. I mean, questions I had to think about. Good Lord, man, you had some good ones.
Well, I appreciate that. I like to get your brain working. That who knows, maybe that'll inspire you to go back and write. Work on the rest of those 100 songs you got to write. Yeah.
That's right. That is right.
So don't forget, Noah Garner Music is the website, correct?
Yes, sir. That is.
All right. And you can go there, and all the social media links are there. He's got music on there. He's got videos, bio about him, which, you can read more about him than what we discussed tonight, because we actually hit a lot of questions after that. So it's pretty cool. There's, like I said, music, golly. It's just, man,
a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, he's got his store on there, which I have not checked out yet. I'm going to swing over there and look at it real quick. Oh, Lord, he's got a hat. Don't tell my wife. I'll be in trouble.
There it is. Man, there's a really nice looking one. It's all black. It's got the NG on it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And then you got this American flag one. That's
right. That's my favorite. Man.
We are super big supporters of our men and women that put their lives on the line every day to make sure that we're safe.
Yes, sir.
So we are. I mean, all of our sponsors give back to military and stuff, and so that's one of those things that I can find something like that. I may pick that up while we're in Nashville if you got it at your shows.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Or one of them.
Shoot me a message. We'll make it happen. I think it's a big deal in this day and age. I like to consider it being a patriot, being on the side of those that are on the side of you, really, protecting and serving our country.
Absolutely. I've actually bringing a friend down with me that is a former, I don't want to use the word former because it's not the case, but he's a U.S. Ranger.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And he's a special one, and I'll tell you more about that after we get off. Because I don't, he's a pretty awesome guy, and he's going to be down there with us all week long, and bringing some Three Rangers whiskey down with him. So,
man, we're going to have to do a shot.
Yeah, we will. Trust me. We're doing shots all over Nashville.
Or 5 or 10,
or 10. Yeah.
Whatever works.
The word has it he's going to have quite a bit with him. I'll just leave that there.
Yes,
we'll definitely have enough. So, man, if you're watching and you have not got any of the merch yet, go over there and do that, because that's just another way to support these artists. Because, as much as you play it, sometimes it's not everything to pay the bills. And so that's what this is all about. It's about paying the bills. And so help them out and showing support. I mean, I'm the kind of guy, I don't have a hat on tonight. I usually do, but I pick one up in Nashville. I'll be sporting an NG hat around for a while.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well as some other buddies, we got a lot of folks down there that we just love to death. And I have a feeling that this is going to lead to one of those relationships. So I
hope so. I really do.
So we will, until then, come back on Monday night. Big announcement too about the podcast, and I don't think I've made this yet. I may have, but I'll make it again. We're on all the major platforms. We were up until last week, but we were on. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify, Google, and then last week got a couple letters, and this is almost an Ashley McBride moment for me.
Yeah.
But we're now on iHeart, podcast, and we got picked up by TuneIn podcast.
Yes, sir. Round of
So-
applause for Before Nashville. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, it's super exciting, and we've got so many big things, which means more work for me. But it's a dream come true, and
Man,
so
I'm
you're
glad.
going to be able to.
Happy for your success, man. Seriously, I really am.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. You can hear Noah on all of those coming up here in a couple of weeks when we get all this edited down, which I don't know how much I'm going to edit out of it, to be honest with you.
Oh, man.
It's been a great time, Noah. Brother, thank you. God bless you. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Do it upright.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you for having me on and chatting with me for a while.
You're absolutely welcome. And don't forget, Before Nashville is live every Monday and Thursday night. And we've always got another great country artist on for you to check out. So be sure to join us on next Monday night. We'll be here and trying to, doing what we can to help out these artists. So until Monday, y'all have a great evening and take care.